Hey, so welcome back. This is technically part one. I'm fairly certain on YouTube I've posted a video of the opening cutscene and whatnot. And for this one, I actually would have waited, but because of the new season, I had to come here to Europa in order to participate in the battlegrounds. And of course, can't do that without going through the opening cinematic, so here we are.
You do not trust Varix, yes? But leave your distrust, your blame, for later. The Elixni who attacked me, she is Aramis, ship stealer. A new Kell of Kells, unifier of the houses. And she seeks to build an army of Elixni, powered by darkness. If she is not stopped, she will destroy us all. You must go. Varix will help you find your way.
So, for the record, I actually have done this before, like all of it, and I'm fairly certain I have videos I was planning to upload on it, but either I deleted them to make room or I changed my mind. I don't know, but I've done all this before, once, so if I'm a little rusty, that's why.
Varix, the power Aramis used to trap you, was that?
Darkness? Yes. We call it stasis. Power in opposition to your light, given by the pyramid. It led Aramis astray. Europa was to be a haven for Elixni, but stasis corrupted her. With it, she turns obsession into opportunity, working in haste to empower Elixni with the dark gift. If Aramis is not stopped, she will build an army capable of snuffing out the light once and for all.
Let me go back to Varix to see if he had any... Nope, I can't because we're in a mission. Dang. I meant to grab bounties from him if I could. Don't honestly know. Because there is one at least I know I need to do here. So while we're waiting for this is perfect. It gives me a little time to explain some things. So, first off, the reason why I've been gone so long is one of two reasons. I promise you I will get back to Final Fantasy XIV. And that's either because I've been grinding like a madman on that game that is just unreal, or I've been suicidally depressed. You decide. Either way, I'm here now. But of course, there are other issues that have popped up in the meantime, such as my father's health and finances. So many financial issues. So heavy. I'm not one to really speak about my personal life and give you a woe is me kind of tale. So I'm going to try to keep this as emotionless as I personally can. But yeah, I'm just going through a lot of stressful stuff right now. My friends, the few people I can even barely call a friend, have been most helpful. You really can't count on people anymore nowadays. I don't trust too many people. I don't even trust myself majority of the time. So if I call you a friend, I hope you take that to heart. Some such friends have been Eternia, also known as Attorney of Light, one of my first ever friends, as supportive as she's always been. Then there's a new kid on the block, Niche. We kind of just met out of the blue on Final Fantasy and been tight ever since. He's really cool. Then, of course, there's Miss Vanilla Star. Pretty much the personification of being a busybody, if there ever was one. Yet and still, she does make time every blue moon to check on me, which is always appreciated. So don't worry about me too much. Despite the stress and the impending doom, I am doing relatively alright. One final note, and then we can get off this topic, is I will never just disappear without saying anything. And even if I did, I would never disappear for long. So if I'm not on YouTube, I'm not on Destiny, Final Fantasy 14, PlayStation, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. I'm just gone for weeks, and then months, then years. You have my permission to just assume the worst. You're probably not going to hear from me again.
Elixni will take it wherever they can. But the darkness promises ruin for us all. Guardian, please.
Then, as if on cue, Varix goes and interrupts me. So, I'm pretty sure that means I've said all I've needed to say. Now we can get back to talking about Destiny, but unfortunately kind of distracted right now. Got to focus a little bit because I don't remember how to make this into a heroic mission. Oh, wait, I think it's coming back to me. I think we need to kill something specific. Nope, we need to stand here. Oh, nope, I was right. It's a bit of both. We need to kill these things. While I'm at it, let's see if we can break the game again. To be fair, when I did this on my... Well, let me take that back. In general, when I do this on my own, it doesn't do that. So I find it funny how, when I'm streaming, that's when it wants to do it. You can also tell I've been practicing with my Celestial Nighthawk. I'm not missing every time, but somehow hitting invisible targets. My aim is, I would probably say, I don't know, 40% better than what it was. So glad I have that finisher. Been wanting that for so long. My hunter feels complete. Speaking of which, let me get over there. There you go. So earlier I mentioned how my hunter is fundamentally different than last time. Not only did I make her look different, but her equipment is actually different. Like, it still bothers me to talk about this. Not as much as it did, obviously, but pretty dang close. I accidentally deleted my other hunter. The really, whoop, aim too high. The really powerful, oh, this guy's a shield. Must be this one. Yeah. The really powerful one. What happens was that I made another hunter, like I told you, I'm making, because with the other hunter, I already had some cutscenes played and I wanted to show them, because again, I only get one chances with these, so I try to make them as perfect as I can. Oh, I forgot about these. I think we actually have to kill these to get it to be heroic. It doesn't look like you can shoot them, but I promise you, you can. It's just really damn hard. But anyway, so I made another hunter that I was going to use for this stream, like with this one, or whichever version it was. I've made so many. I was just going to pick up where Shadowkeep, where Shadowkeep was, and then the other hunter, I was going to use that one to show you the full cutscenes and whatnot Beyond Light. But in order to delete the other spot that I had, I accidentally, well, I did it on purpose because it's a cool emblem, but I gave them the same emblem. And so what happened was, in my mind, I knew that when I deleted the one I wanted to delete, it would move up the bottom one to the second slot. But as I was having that thought, my mind was processing that as if it had already happened. So what I did was I deleted the second spot instead of the third one, which of course was the hunter that I didn't want to delete. So, and she had some of my best weapons. It really bummed me out. Like, I lost my raid hand cannon that was fairly decent. It could have been better, but it was good at what it did. It had like rampage on it, that much I remember. See, my precious ace of spades doesn't even have 10k anymore. And get this, before it crashed, or before I crashed rather, and accidentally deleted that hunter, I had kept playing beyond the stream. I was still playing Destiny in my spare time, and I had over 50k kills in PvE, obviously, with the ace of spades. I was going for 100k. I was probably 52k. It was really high. I know I was over halfway, and I was so mad that I did that. I was so very close. But as you can see, deleted it, so have to start over with that. I do have the Hawkmoon and its catalyst. This Hawkmoon is decent, but the one I had was even better, and of course I accidentally deleted it. It had, I think it, hold on, let me think. It didn't, yeah, it did. It had small bore, it had opening shot, and it had textured grip. So it was nearly perfect, and it felt so good to use. The catalyst is pretty sweet too, because I remember mentioning how when it comes to Gunslinger Hunter and Destiny 1, not practice make perfect. Knock 'em Down is basically an updated version of the Gunslinger's Trance, even though I like the name Gunslinger's Trance better. It just sounds cooler. Well, funny thing about that, as you can see right here, what this does, the Hawkmoon Catalyst, is called Hunter's Trance. I love it. As if me telling you the hand cannon wasn't the Hunter's signature weapon enough. There you go. And then the final kick to the balls is right here with this Hawkmoon. I didn't even know this was freaking possible. And I had two of them. This is actually the better roll of the two. But yesterday, a new friend of mine, an old new friend, Dark, and I went to go grind the Hawkmoon, and I got two Hawkmoons with freaking hipfire grip, even though this one has smooth grip. How the crap? And I know this one is technically a grip and this one's technically a trait. I don't care. Hipfire, grip, smooth grip. I don't care if this says trait. This is a grip. I hate that this is here, because if this had been opening shot, I would have had full bore, alloy magazine, of course that's standard, opening shot, and smooth grip. It would have literally have been a perfect Hawkmoon, and I got this. I am so angry about this, but I kept it to infuse it later, as well as to tell you my little story, because you know how my luck is. So with all that finally caught up, we can move now. Oh, right. I forgot to show you this.
Remains of Eventide. Clovis Bray's European colony, built to house those who came to build Exo, and to become them.
Until we arrived, much has Aramis uncovered. All has proven beyond dangerous.
Then we'll just have to take it away from her.
We have to mention, obviously, my literal perfect Bad Omens also got deleted. It had, I don't remember the exact perks that it had. All I remember is that it was a blast, I said blast works. It was a blast radius masterwork. It had decent velocity, despite being blast radius. It had cluster bomb and tracking, so it was literally perfect. And then, of course, now that that thing is gone, now rocket launchers are getting a buff. I didn't know my Ethonra luck was so powerful that it affects the entire world, but I've been wrong before, apparently. This one that I have now also has cluster bomb and tracking, but instead I think it's reload masterwork, and I think the blast radius is either higher or lower. I'm not sure about that. I am relatively satisfied though, because it does have the main thing that I wanted, tracking and cluster bomb, but still, I would have liked to have had my perfected one, especially with rocket launchers being buffed.
That dome.
I don't know why.
Is that where you live?
A pinnacle of hope for the remaining elixir, but a standing reminder of Aramis's betrayal of Varix.
Well, I take back what I said. I do kind of know why, because I'm looking at it from my Bad Omens perspective. But a rocket bomb. I think I'm talking too fast. A rocket launcher with cluster bomb does hit pretty hard. It's really good. It's just the tracking makes it so you're pretty much guaranteed to get max damage, because the rocket is going to fly right towards them, explode, and then cluster bomb. So they get hit. That's a little off. But thanks to tracking, still work. So as I was saying, kind of maximizes your damage when you have both. So from that perspective, I don't see why rocket launchers needed a buff unless you're getting one to have neither, if you just want that raw damage. Which, again, is fine. I'm not against it. I also know that they're doing it for the sake of swords, which I think is ridiculous. I don't think they're nerfing swords, but they might be. But I don't think they should, because I remember this was a major complaint back in the day, back when swords were literally new, as well as kind of still now, is that with swords, they're very good melee weapons, obviously, because they're freaking swords, but also they're good at crowd control, because a lot of these mobs, even though they have guns, love to bum rush you. By the way, I swear I have another finisher on. I don't know why I keep getting that one. Not complaining, I'm just saying. But yeah, swords, you know, they're mostly meant for mobs. They're not really meant for bosses. And the reason why I say that is because virtually every boss in this game has a shockwave attack to stop you from getting close. And the ones that don't typically fly. Or in cases of things like boss servitors, they just soul suck you to death until you die. It's pretty much why the Lament is considered to be so good, because it has health regen. So even though you're getting swatted away like a fly, you don't have to worry about dying as often. Fun fact about that jump, I don't know how that happened, because I jumped over it. Or at least I thought I did, because I've done it before. I don't know what it is about when I stream, I just mess up all the time. When I was younger and I had like people watching me play games in real life, it did make me nervous. But I know for the most part I'm pretty much here by myself.
That dome, is that where you live?
Pretty much recording this for future reference. Well, not future reference, but you know, to be watched by people in the future.
A standing reminder of Aramis's betrayal.
So I'm going to jump over it again, just to make sure. Because if I die again, then I swear it's because they changed it. Because I have jumped over it before, more than once, and have not instantly died. But getting back to that sword conversation, yeah, I don't think swords should be nerfed, but I do find it weird that they're nerfing rocket launchers because swords are too strong, even though they should be too strong, since the trade-off is getting close to an enemy that by all rights could one-shot you, especially since I've seen countless people use swords, not even guard with them. They just run up to the boss and start flailing around willy-nilly, while they should at least block first. For one, it'll reduce the damage, and two, it'll negate knockback. They don't do that. They just run up there and start swinging. Oh yeah, that reminds me of the drain. They changed something about that, which is pretty I think it was an unnecessary change, but it's interesting nevertheless. So right quick, what they did with the drain, originally they basically made it like an exotic because, funnily enough, if you sunset the drain, you actually hurt an exotic, things that aren't meant to be sunsetted yet. So basically it didn't have a light level. Now it does. And I'm all but certain this is literally impossible to get to unless you manage to hack the game. I sincerely doubt. It says right there, power limit is infinite. But this used to not be here. It used to just be nothing. So I do find it funny that they added that anyway. Though it does mention a power cap, so I don't know. That's really strange. Because why is the power cap still 310 or whatever that said, instead of, I think the new one is 610, 1610, something like that. So I don't know why that one is still handicapped, even though its level can go on forever. Actually, I think I know what might have killed me. Let me try something. If that thing shot up when I touched it, or when I went over it, and then that touched the laser mine, I could see why that would have killed me. See, I shot that one. Then, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I really was that distracted I didn't jump as high as I thought, but... Or maybe one of the mobs shot the trip mine trying to shoot me.
The energy I felt earlier. It must have been Aramis using stasis.
Oh, right. I did say I wouldn't bring this up again, but this at least needs to be said.
The darkness trail Aramis left behind leads right through that door, but it's locked.
With stasis, yes. You will not be able to break through.
Then we'll find another way around.
I will just say this and then I'll leave it alone.
You're all here for the same reason. Because you desire freedom for our people. And I can give you just that.
Aramis is close. She's ours now.
Yeah. So as I was saying, all those people I mentioned being friends, being there checking on me, I didn't say this, but it should go without saying. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that ominous warning still applies to you as well. I'm not the type of person to hype things up. I am not a dramatic person. That should be obvious by now. So I'm not saying like, oh, I'm going to go away forever. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So be worried. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you what's up. Either I'm worrying over nothing, which honestly I actually doubt, or I'm going to be gone for a bit involuntarily. I don't know yet. That's why I'm telling you now. So the people who don't follow me on Twitter, for the people who don't follow me on Discord, every subscriber of mine is not on my Discord, so this is the best way I feel to reach out to everybody. That's all that was about. Now we're moving on.
Chains! For centuries we have been bound by them. Servants to the so-called Great Machine. We even built idols in its image. We have become pawns of our own devices. No longer. Today, we begin breaking free from our chains. is a gift. One I will share with all of you in time. Vilax! One by one, we will rise again. This is our future. Our enemies stand no chance against this power. The great machine will finally know our pain. It would appear our enemies have arrived, eager to test us. Let's not keep them waiting.
Something... I'll wait, because we're going to have some dialogue going on here in a minute. But it's related to... I had to do this all by myself. All of it. The entire expansion before.
I can feel it. It's too powerful.
Aramis has begun spreading stasis to her army. You must get out now.
I'm calling our ship. Let's go. Don't stop. Keep moving.
Ooh, that was wily. I hate when they do that. They go like right underneath your shots. Oh, right underneath your shots, and occasionally
They
right
actually
underneath
have
your melee.
darkness. The Fallen. This is really bad. Ships here, to the left. There, across the gap. Go.
So yeah, with every expansion after... what was it? I don't think it was the Osiris one. I think that one was actually pretty tame. But I do remember the Warmind expansion is when I was actually having trouble. Like every enemy I fought was a red skull or a sword. This one was pretty much the same when I first started, because unlike most people who would just throw on the blue armor and purple armor and everything else be damned, I wanted to keep mine for as long as I could until I found suitable replacements. Something I was going to do for my Bad Omens, the perfect one. It obviously has a level cap of like 1360. Yeah. So this one only... I forgot to turn that on. This one can only get so much stronger. But still, tracking, cluster bomb. So if nothing else, it'll at least be good in PvP. But I want to hold on to it till I get something better.
What were the words? From the sky came a gale. Varix forgets. Varix believed Aramis wished to create a new life for the Elixni, but these dark powers have poisoned her mind. And so I fled from her. For this, she calls me betrayer. There are others who fled, those like me, who still worship the great machine. They are in hiding. I will not leave them behind. They will be casualties in her war without our help. But perhaps they can be brought to safety.
So you're gonna have to pause that if you wanted to read it. My mind was somewhere else for a second. Oh, wait a minute.
The spider who
I don't think I can
waits
get anything
on-
from him right now. I think I need to actually finish the expansion. Yeah.
What remains of Aramis's council?
Speaking of getting stasis, I might as well talk about that a little bit because it's going to happen very soon. Not permanently, but on and off. So, stasis, much like sunsetting. I really do love when it came to sunsetting. The same people who said it was not that big of a deal, that we need to just accept it, are the exact same people who are bitching about it now. Stasis, funnily enough, you'll see a lot of people, Varix, Zavala, Saladin even, or Saladin, however you pronounce his name, Iron Banner Man, all warn you about stasis and the darkness.
Europa is no longer the haven I hoped it would be. For those who do not wish to live under the rule of a dark Kelm, we must play savior. A secret communications network would allow us to reach out.
Barracks, we're ready. Where is the first relay?
Barracks thanks you.
Power's going, Barracks.
Good. 2 more.
I couldn't remember where this one was. I wanted to try to get there first. I knew it was like over here, but not where over here. The third one I know is over in that direction.
Okay, Barracks, that's 2. Did you hear that? Sounded like voices.
What? Who?
The ones who spoke through me.
We must hurry then. There's one more relay.
Yeah, let's say I don't think it's up there. I didn't go far enough. When I saw this, I thought I went too far and I needed to go backwards. But nope, didn't go far enough. So as I was saying, they all warn you about darkness and how corrupting it is and all that stuff. Which is why I find it so deliciously funny how stasis has broken the Crucible. Like the PvPers, the ones who live there, absolutely hate it.
Oh no, it's them. They're here. They're beckoning us.
To the point where it was already pretty broken. And it's even... What's funny is there was talk about how they're going to do the same thing with light classes, give them catalysts and all that good stuff. So instead of doing that in this expansion, and maybe just leaving stasis alone, they made stasis even more powerful. So I'm pretty sure the PvPers enjoyed that. And as if that's not enough, they're also changing... Because I told some people about this, if I was a big YouTuber, not that I want to be, just saying, if I was a big YouTuber and I warned people about this, I'm pretty sure I would have got buried for it, but I would have been right. And that is, in order for it to be crossplay, something pretty significant would have to be changed, because if they allow people on PC to play with people on controller, the people on controller are going to be a naturally disadvantage because PC master race, am I right? So with that in mind, So with that in mind, if they were going to make it so we can all play together, then someone is going to be put at a disadvantage. And a combination of stasis and PvP,
We beckon.
some of the big
You
YouTubers
answered.
have actually left.
We've kept you waiting long enough. Come to us. Salvation awaits.
Yeah, see? Never mind the fact that it attracts more modders, viruses,
The light
that kind of thing. That doesn't matter.
Nothing more
Only
than a
positive.
soldier asked again and again to do its bidding. So we want to thank you with a gift to help you finally take control.
And here comes our guardian. Right on time.
I cannot tell you how relieved I am to see you. We are in great need of allies, and I am in even greater need of a buffer between myself and the ever-obnoxious Drifter. The stranger, you see, is far too reserved to provide sufficient rest from his chatter. I suspect her quiet has more to do with what she has to hide, though I've yet to work out what or why. Still, even these two are an improvement from my solitary studies on Luna. You're lucky to have your ghost, Guardian. As you can surely tell already, this journey into darkness is not to be traveled alone.
I'm glad she said that. She actually reminded me of a complaint that I had. It hasn't happened yet, but I'll be sure to mention it when it does.
Your old pal Drifter was right. It's time to ditch the light, good, dark, bad dogma. And folks are finally starting to see it.
With everything that's at stake, you are reveling in being right.
Just let me have this one, Three Eyes. All right? Just once.
Not quite as good as the Eris and Cade banter, but pretty good, pretty good.
I know. I owe you an explanation for all this. I once asked Guardians to destroy the Blackheart, to prevent Darkness's arrival. Success may have been achieved, but I now know that fate comes knocking sooner or later. The floodgates are open. The darkness is here. I wield it now with intent to stop our enemies where the light cannot. Your resilience within the pyramid proves you're capable of wielding it too. Before us lies what we call a ziggurat. Its purpose is temptation. To begin your training, you must give in. Here, take this.
Alright. Later, if you want to read all this, pause it.
Please understand. The line between light and dark is so very thin. Let's cross it together.
I understand why you're going along with the stranger's plan, but, well, she's clearly not telling us everything. The longer we're here, the more nervous I get. Not that I think you can't handle it. I know you can. I just wish I had a better idea of what that might be. We're definitely in uncharted territory out here.
Oh, right. I forgot. This is what throws me off sometimes. Sometimes it'll manually do it for you, and sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, from this point onward, I want you to pay very close attention to everything Ghost says, especially when related to the darkness, starting with especially this part. Oh, you know, it's dangerous, but I know you can handle it. I have faith. You know what you're doing. Remember that. Everything he says, and then I'll get to the part that I have a complaint about, and it's actually not even Ghost himself. It's what something a pretty big YouTuber said about Ghost that struck me as very odd, because it didn't make sense. It didn't match what he said, because Ghost didn't say that, but we'll get there when we get there. Should probably also mention this about my sparrow. Sorry, buddy. Is that this sparrow, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, I don't remember, so I guess I'll just say it again. This sparrow is actually the fastest sparrow in the game. It has the exact same speed as all the 160s.
Aramis ordered Praxis to experiment with the darkness. His efforts now roam free. Destroy them before they end us all.
It has the exact same speed as all the other exotics, like 160 something. But the reason why this one is faster...
This moon holds many secrets. Secrets your enemies wish to steal. Kill them before they can do so. Yes.
Yeah, so the reason why that one is actually the fastest in the game right now, unless, like, there's a new sparrow that's out that I'm unaware of, is because it has very little friction. I know that probably sounds weird considering it's a hover bike, but it slips and slides around. Okay, I was going to kill him, but that works too. It slips and slides around compared to the other sparrows. So because it has less friction, yet it doesn't take it longer to gain speed. It gains speed just fine, but it has, whoops, I'm distracted, but it has less friction. So once it gets to its maximum speed, it becomes harder to control, but it moves much faster. Sometimes when you want to throw the knife, it doesn't come out. It doesn't happen often, but when it does not feel good. I swear these things have like no targeted. That's what I'm looking for here. You know how like when you're aiming for a headshot or precision point, your bullets kind of magnetize to it? I swear those things don't have it, because it is incredibly hard to hit them. But yeah, I remember you have to destroy those things to make this a heroic. Good luck with that. I guess it would be easier if you use a fully automatic weapon. Or if you manage to hit one with a rocket launcher and it blows up the rest.
It's Aramis.
Attention all pawns of the once great machine. Did you know that before it doomed your kind, it did the same to mine? You are not special. Just the plaything of a so-called god who would sooner seen your life end than its own.
So the thing about the hunter stasis, and I'm not saying this just because I'm a hunter main, but to me it feels like the hunter stasis super is probably the best one, because it's a fire and forget, while the other two leave you vulnerable. For example, it is a little tricky to get used to at first, but you have to kind of treat the toss as a grenade launcher. But yeah, so I can throw that, I can stand here and let the hurricane do all the work. Or I can maximize it and contribute. Like that. Of course I can do that, and then throw that one over there. So while it's tearing them up, they're frozen, giving me time to do whatever I want. So I would say it's the most versatile. Or, say for example, you got people coming from this side, but you want to flank over there, just... So you pretty much shut down that area, take care of whatever's going on over here. It's so versatile. The Titan one, to me, is probably second best, and I said the Warlock is the worst, but apparently that's not true. Apparently, and this is way back when Stasis was new. It could be the total opposite now for all I know. But back when Stasis was new, Warlock was actually considered really powerful. I didn't know that. I don't know if they were talking about the Stasis class or the actual super, because the super doesn't feel that great. Something I kind of do hate, as if just giving us a new super and grenades and whatnot wasn't bad enough. The fact that Stasis actually gives you buffs. Now if I should say, that the light classes also get catalysts and whatnot to make them stronger, then fine. I guess it's not that big of a deal. Personally, I would have taken care of that first, before making Stasis a power people already complain about even more powerful. That seems kind of ridiculous. But either way, the fact that Stasis not only is very powerful, but that it also gives you buffs to your stats. So you literally become stronger by being a Stasis class, whether it's giving you more mobility, recovery, resistance, anything like that. The other classes don't do that. They don't do that at all. But Stasis does, in addition to all this craziness. And that poor Harpy. It didn't deserve that. Just for fun, let me see just how far I can throw this. Yep. So, what's stopping me from throwing it down a very long hallway or over some debris into the enemy camp and just let it run amok? Nothing besides geometry. And even then. Man, you have to be, yeah, they don't. You have to be pinpoint accurate to hit them. Speaking of pinpoint accurate, man, I wish my Hawkmoon, especially the near perfect one with freaking hip fire grip, had opening shot. Just so I could show you just how ridiculous opening shot is on something like Hawkmoon with Hunter's Trance.
So, we can use stasis to unlock these latches after all. Let's look inside, see if we can find anything useful.
And as if it wasn't giving you a hint to use Hunters enough, if you do what I'm doing, the Sharpshooter class has always been my favorite. Like, yeah, Outlaw gives you 6 shots. Okay. I'd rather be able to do precision shots with my 3 shots, doing more damage, extend the duration, and you can actually make it hit even harder thanks to practice makes... No, not practice makes perfect, knock them down. But practice makes perfect makes it so you get your super back faster. So if you combine knock them down with practice makes perfect with opening shot on anything, but specifically the Hawkmoon with Hunter's Trance, it's just ridiculous. I really love the feel of that. Still kicking myself for deleting it. But one thing that I do like is, of course, I still say the Ace of Spades is the best hand cannon in the game. Objectively, it does everything you want a hand cannon to do. It has 13 in the magazine, so you don't really have to worry about getting caught with your pants down too much. It has Memento Mori, its signature perk, which makes it do much more damage. And it has Firefly, which is AoE, which is a hand cannon's typical weakness since they're not meant for AoE types of engagements. Like this would be like an auto rifle situation. Of course, Firefly wouldn't work on them anyway, but you get what I'm saying. And then, nearly forgot about this one, it has high caliber rounds. So you're flinching and stunning things that you shoot with it, making lining up headshots really easy on tough enemies. The only real downside to the Ace of Spades, to me, is that the catalyst... I could have swore it told me to go that way, by the way. I know I get distracted when I'm talking, but I could swear it told me to go that way. Anywho, the only thing I really complain about the Ace of Spades is that the catalyst is not that great. It kind of just reinforces that it's more of a PvE gun. Don't let the PvPers hear that, though. But it is more of a PvE gun, even though it can be used in PvP. The fact that it comes with Firefly, and the catalyst only affects Firefly, should kind of give that away. But I do wish the catalyst did something different. Like, make Memento Mori do even more damage. It's a very basic upgrade, but man, it'd be very good.
Can it be? I can smell that poisoned power on you. Does corruption spread so quickly? Or do you hope to fight Aramis with her own weapons? You walk a very dangerous path. Take this recklessness to Phylax then, but beware. She is Aramis's most skilled warrior. She made her name at Twilight Gap. Prove yourself a worthy opponent, and she will show herself. No good can come from the dark.
Tortoise shell. Still one of my favorites. Oh yeah, so while I'm here, always on time. Like I said, it's 160, but it's much faster than that. I kept this one because it's a gift from the best girl in the game, Failsafe. This one, whatever. Now this one apparently belongs to Cade 6, given what's being said right here.
3 arms.
And as if that wasn't enough proof.
I
Look
must
at it.
find a new one.
Look at it. So I believe this was Cade's sparrow. Yeah, really sad. Something that's equally sad is the real color, despite I making it look like it's the Ace of Spades, which it should. This is what it really looks like. Doesn't really feel like Cade to me. I'm not even sure if there's red on his body. Orange, maybe. So, I don't know. But I thought I'd show that off. Now, back to business. So, about this fallen general about to fight, as I mentioned, I had to do these all by myself. And my light level was not to the point where they just became regular enemies. I'm not sure what the little bar beside their head is called. It has an official name, but I don't know what it is. At any rate, don't try to hide. I hate when they can't wait their turn. See that stun? That's thanks to high caliber round. And it would be a lifesaver in a situation like this. There, take that to you, buddies. That's probably the best example I could give of why the go-to role for a rocket launcher is tracking bomb, or tracking bomb. Sure, we'll call it that. Cluster bombs and tracking bomb. That'll work. Man, that feels good. Definitely my favorite finisher. If there was anyone, I think, yeah, you'll probably get to see it when we, because I think we have to do a strike. Whoop. As part of a mission. And you do get to use your sparrows at the beginning of that strike, like you do with most of them. So it would, if someone is close enough by me, it'll be a good example to show you what I meant by how this sparrow is faster than normal, because you'll actually get to see it. Anyway, got way off topic. So again, I had to do it all by myself.
Last
and the
time
enemies...
we saw the Exo Stranger, she wanted us to fight the darkness. Now, after all this time, she's telling you to use it. I believe she's trying to help. I do. But she still hasn't explained exactly what she's pulling you into. It's not fair to you.
Please remember that. I really need to stress. Please remember what Ghost just said, especially that part. She's not telling us everything that's going on. It's not fair to us that we're risking our lives, have been as a matter of fact, and she hasn't told us everything that she knows. Miss No Time to Explain needs to start explaining, and she hasn't done it yet. But yeah, for the umpteenth time, they were bare minimum rank of red swords, if not skulls. All I know is they were very hard to kill, especially alone. That being said,
This moon holds
he already
many
said that.
secrets. Secrets your enemies wish to steal. Kill them before they can do so. Yes.
Throwing that mine made me think, if they are going to treat light classes the same as stasis, there better be one that upgrades the trip mine. I'm not even kidding. But yeah, my level is much higher than it was last time, so they will be easier in that regard. But of course, there's always my weakness of falling to my death. So hopefully that won't happen, or apparently tripping a wire. Because I've been on the Nessus mission, the one where you have to clear out the Fallen from her ship. If you trip a trip mine there, you won't die. Now if you trip one and then you run forward, and then like 11 of them go off, then yeah, it'll kill you. Maybe that's what happened to me. I could have swore it was just one, but I don't know. I'm still thinking about how that killed me. Oh, another little fun fact is every once in a while, Europa will have snowstorms, whiteouts even. And when that happens, it'll actually blow your sparrow around. Oh, and a precautionary warning against using finishers. It's so rare when it happens, and even when it does, the threat level is pretty minimal. But there have been many times, it kind of happened right there. I don't know if you could tell, but I could because my controller vibrated. But if you go in to get an enemy with a finisher, there's a chance they'll still be able to hit you. So say if you're literally one hit away from death, it is possible that you'll die, unless, of course, the finisher either makes you invulnerable, like that split second you activate it, which I doubt, or you use a, I guess I'll call it a perk on your armor. Like one of them is that when you're charged with light and you do a finisher, you get an overshield. That's very handy. If you combine that with the you get health back for doing finishers, you effectively make yourself invincible when it comes to doing finishers, because you'll have the overshield, so you're not taking actual damage. And if you're one hit away from death, you'll get your health back at the end of the finisher at the cost of 10% of your super. So you can imagine that something like a Titan really loves to use their finishers with that build. I would know. I kind of made it. Nah, I guess I'll see how long I can hold on to this. I was going to say this isn't really going to help me with the thing, but that doesn't matter because in less than 2 minutes it's going to start. So let's see if I can hold on to this for 2 minutes. That was not good. And that's apparently what weighted throwing knife looks like from third person. Oh, that's okay. I thought for a second he might have been a bounty target, but the fact that he didn't drop a chest, I was like, okay, he must be related to that. Something we're going to have to do later. Something else that was also really hard to do by myself, because I think I could be one-shot by a sniper if I wasn't careful. Speaking of unfair snipers, fair warning when you go and do the Hawkmoon quest. Yes, it is 100% worth it. I would not recommend soloing it unless you know what you're doing. Like, memorize where all the enemies are, or at least can survive being two-tapped. Because you're going to be dying left and right non-stop. It's not really an issue until you're in the boss rooms. But when you get to the boss rooms, especially if you're fighting like an unfair one, like when you have to fight two taken Centurions, and they're constantly spamming that Axion dart, and when I say constantly, I mean constantly. They don't even have to see you, and they'll throw it out in your direction, and the dart will take care of the rest. Coming close to one-shotting you if you're not at full health. And there's two of them. And if you kill one before the other, there's that whiteout. Well, no, this is a blizzard. It's not a whiteout yet. If you do it before the if you don't kill them both at the same time, it spawns non-stop thralls, taking thralls.
Many Elixni see those not of us as ever enemies, no matter the peace offerings. Such ones approach now. Meet them with your knife will.
Meet them with your knife will. That's a new one. Old Destiny 1 trick. I think with this one I need to destroy the servitors because I'm not seeing that little machine. I'll let them get it. Nah, I better not. It'll waste more time. Oh, hey. Come here, you. That's what I was talking about, enemies that love to rush you. The dregs are pretty bad about doing that. How fitting. Oh. If I knew he was going to run away, I would have just shot him in the back. Oh well.
How are you holding up? I can't imagine how it must feel for a Guardian to wield darkness. These are the coordinates I picked up on the radio. Phylax has troops patrolling this area.
I'm not going to say it every single time. That one doesn't feel like I should have to say it, but I already brought it up, so I might as well. Keep in mind what Ghost is saying. All he's doing right there is asking, how are we doing? We were created in the light by the Traveler. we're wielding a, well, not officially, but somewhat wielding a power, the darkness, used by the enemy of the Traveler. We are a creature of light using the powers of darkness. He should be concerned. Rightfully so. That's all I want to say about that. For now. Another reason why I'm using my Ace more than my Hawkmoon for right now is because the Hawkmoon I'm using is not my ideal one. But also, especially for the Battlegrounds, it's kind of unbelievable. Well, I guess not really if you know what it's like, but the Battlegrounds is just rife with enemies. They're just all over the place. Cabal, back in Destiny 1 and whatnot, I still say it, that when it comes to enemies that have things like iron, the Cabal is one of the worst because they're meant to be the big, burly, physical brawlers. I guess the Minotaur heard me and didn't take too kindly to that. Yes, Minotaur, I know you are an outlier when it comes to the Vex, but again, the Cabal race, Scions don't count, are meant to be physical brawlers. They're going to be really tough when it comes to melee combat. That being said, the most dangerous ones to me are phalanxes with iron, and not the ones with the futuristic energy shields. I mean the good old solid iron shields, the ones that could swat you away with such velocity that if you hit a wall, it was a guaranteed death. Or rather, it was if it was, the distance was, you know, long enough. Like if you were to get hit from, say, there to here, it would kill you. So I said all that to say, lots and lots of Cabal, namely Centurions, are going to have shields and yellow health. And there are so many phalanxes, especially near the end of the boss. So very many. So the Ace of Spades, being a hand cannon that hits hard in conjunction with having AoE damage, thanks to Firefly, is a real workhorse. It always has been. And that thing over there is a wyvern. I've always loved how, it's partially why the Vex are also my favorite race in the game, even though they're my least favorite to fight, is because they name all their enemies after like mythology. Goblin, Hobgoblin, Minotaur, Harpy, Cyclops, Gorgons, oh man, the Gorgons. And then, of course, over there's a wyvern. I'm guessing the next one's going to be something like a dragon. That'd be kind of cool, seeing what a Vex dragon looks like. Oh, and Hydra. I think I might not have said Hydra. By the way, Hydras don't count as a dragon, so if they're going to do an actual Vex dragon, it needs to look something like Yazmat. It needs to look cool. So, the thing about the wyverns is I don't quite know how they work. They're kind of like the phalanxes for the Vex, in the sense that I think their sides, the little tentacle things, are invincible. So you can't shoot past that, and shooting it does nothing. So you have to shoot them in the face. But they don't have a precision point until I guess you do enough damage. They don't have a precision point until you do enough damage. And that can be tricky to deal with because they like to slowly creep up on you and then try to ground slam you. I'm gonna go and kill this thing just to see if it'll drop anything. That felt nice. Because his eye is right there. Even though I twitched a bit because I got shot, it didn't count as a precision point. And I don't fight enough of them to know how they work, but from my limited experience, I think they work a lot like the Brigs, or whatever those giant Megazord Fallen units are called, where they don't really have a precision point until you do enough damage. I think that's how the Wyverns work. Basically, just keep your distance, kill them as fast as possible, and you'll be safe. Because them leaping on you, I think, is actually more dangerous than a Phalanx backhand. Yep, bait the teleport, and there we go. Oh, that Shank was trying to be clever. That was kind of cute, actually. Little bob and weave. Yep, I was right. They are called Brigs. It's kind of funny.
Looks
Brigs
like
are
the
both
Vex are setting
less
up for Spire
dangerous
integration.
and more
We better
dangerous
stop them before Europa winds up like Nessus.
than the spider tanks. Nah, yeah, I would Ghost, but at this very moment, kind of in a hurry. If other people jump on it, I'll help. Otherwise, I'm gonna do my own thing. Whoop. Also, that's something about stasis. I don't know if because usually if you get frozen, you panic and you just mash the button. But for every class, Hunters, I mean, Titans and Warlocks might be the same because I haven't been frozen as a Warlock before. But with Titan, I believe it's just you hold circle. With Hunter, it says double tap, like that. It feels like if you do more than double tap with the Hunter, even if you're not being shot, you'll take more damage. Like, I managed to break out there without my health being critical. But there have been times where if I'm panicking, like, I need to get out of here, and I just mash it too fast without paying attention, it'll put me in a critical health. What's this game? You're not gonna break on me for killing him too fast?
Machine spawn. I admire your thirst for the fight. Come and find me.
She's transmitting her location to us. Looks like we won ourselves an invitation.
That's how you kick a soccer ball. Alright, I see the blueberry over there, so I'm gonna go help him.
There are Vex here in great numbers. They will consume Europa if they are not stopped. Stop them.
Oh, man. I completely forgot to mention this about Ace of Spades. It got so much going on for it. Right there was Third Eye. That's why I knew that thing was there without having to really turn. I forgot about Third Eye. Because I'm so used to using Ace of Spades, I'm just used to my radar being there. But yeah, again, perfect hand cannon. Everything you could want, Ace of Spades provides. I know how to get this one to heroic, but yeah, the blueberry's trying. He should be able to handle it on his own. I need to get to that one, so I'm going to make my way there. I used to think that if a single Fallen got through, it was an instant, no longer heroic kind of thing. But that's not the case at all. It just so happened I didn't know what triggered heroic, so once we finished, and that was the end of it, it was just the end. But that's not the case. Yeah, there we go. There's his weak point. I knew it had one, but its big fat head is in the way. That's actually exactly why I say I don't like fighting the Vex, even though they're my favorite race, is because they got so much going on, such cool lore behind the Vex. But I hate fighting them because their precision point isn't their head. So when it comes to me, it's kind of hard to land a throwing knife, unless it's like a harpy, of course. It's kind of hard to land or a cyclops. It's kind of hard to land a precision knife throw on them because their chin or whatever gets in the way. Yeah, it looks like they also got one on their back. Yeah, but see, even that was kind of hard to hit. I think we're good. I don't see any more lines coming out. I think the blueberry took care of it earlier, which is good. Yeah, pretty sure he did, because of the enemies that are coming out now.
Phylax found fame at Twilight Gap, yes? Fame for ruthlessness, for final deaths. For Phylax, there is no greater joy than battle. You must challenge her, but use caution, Guardian.
I actually was going to fight that mob, but I decided against it for the sake of time.
They say you are a great warrior. Destroyer of Oryx.
This one
But
I will.
I think you are filled with machine weakness. God dependence. You flee from battles you think you will lose. Prove you are worth my time.
What did Phylax mean by god dependence? The Traveler? I don't feel dependent on or limited by the Traveler. I feel close to the Traveler. Protected. Or, I did. Since you got that splinter, I feel further away than ever.
Little fun story here. This was actually my first time playing through, my first time encountering a wyvern. And much like in Destiny 1, when I encountered a servitor for the first time, it kind of freaked me out. Because I didn't even really see what it was. All I saw was like blue flailing tentacles over a ridge. So I didn't even know what it was connected to. Of course, even when I found out, it didn't really help that much. There we go. That's why I said Memento Mori is good. Well, it's great. It's kind of tricky, but if you're fast enough... Ah, almost did it.
Shoot
My
the
precision
transformer.
was off.
I think that will disable the barrier.
That time it was just unnecessary. But yeah, Memento Mori makes it so that if you're within appropriate range, you can actually kill a hobgoblin before it deploys its shield.
What drives you, machine spawn? Do you fight for glory? For power? My Elixir fight for the fight itself. There is nothing beyond it. Let me teach you this lesson.
Another thing they changed about the Ace of Spades, this shouldn't affect whether you use it or not, because it is a great hand cannon. If you need a go-to exotic hand cannon and don't want to use Hawkmoon, you cannot go wrong with this. But one of the things they changed was whenever you bring up your ghost, it will make you lose Memento Mori when you're only supposed to lose it if you change weapons. I don't know why that glitch, no, it actually goes beyond glitch, it's a bug, was in the game for so long, but they finally fixed it. Like I said, it's very minor, just if you know about it, obviously do your best not to bring up your ghost when it can be helped. Even if you accidentally do bring it up, it's very easy to just do that, do this, and then get Memento Mori back. Practice makes perfect. Aw, I didn't want to get that heavy ammo, it rolled to me. Another great thing about using a rocket launcher with tracking is in its own way it's like a sniper rifle. A big, giant, explosive, fiery bullet. But yeah, you saw how that went. So now imagine doing that when you're severely under the light level. I need to move. That's exactly why. Yep, I remembered at the last second. I was like, wait, one is going to spawn right in there. Because that stupid trick got me before. I guess we can talk about Exploder Shanks. So, I don't know about you, but to me, I find Exploder Shanks to be the most dangerous suicidal units. One reason being they can fly, so they can literally go anywhere. Secondly, I have survived point-blank Curse Thrall explosions before, and as far as I can tell, that was only one Shank. I don't know. I noticed it, like, right as it blew up. But I have not survived a point-blank Exploder Shank, ever. Unless I was a Titan. I think maybe then I've survived it, but as a hunter, mm-mm.
I've never seen the Fallen's military forces so organized.
For many years, Elixir lived scattered, yes. Aramis took our broken houses and forged an army.
And she wants to give that army stasis if they ever came for the last city.
I should probably also mention... nope, get out of here. I hate when that happens. And of course it happens again. You're gonna flinch to that, really. That's another reason why I don't particularly like fighting the Vex, even though I told you the Cabal are more like the physical brawler types. Well, when it comes to Minotaurs, who have an aggressive wart, and the Hydras, which are essentially walking denial zones, when they just appear on top of you, ready to cave your skull in, not too much you can do about it, but hope for the best and expect the worst. I like how that goblin was just looking off to the side and then, whoop, there went his head. Oh, right.
I see now you are a worthy challenge. A chance to hold my blade. Come find me, machine spawn. I am waiting.
There's more of that broken logic.
Another one of those giant mechs.
Technology taken from the Kel's scourge. Another splintered house, united under Aramis.
So yeah, apparently now we're proven to be worthy. Even though, you know, we're immortal zombies with the powers to wipe out single armies, or armies single-handedly. A single guardian can easily wipe out an army of anything else. Plus, you know, immortal. I would say that's pretty worthy.
I will bring your corpse to Aramis. I will forge myself a ring from your armor.
I'm gonna try my best not to just shoot her in the head, because I know she has phases. Yeah, and this is partially why I hated this fight. Is, she has those rushers. Yep, these dastards. Ace of Spades coming through yet again. But yeah, she has phases, and I'm gonna try to fight the urge to give her the big, burning middle finger. And instead, just wear her down to the third phase. Actually, I shouldn't even... Better idea, because I don't want to use it right now. The next phase, I'll use it. Because I just remembered, in the third phase, they kind of forced me to do stasis anyway, So yeah, when she moves, I'll use it then. And then we'll just see what happens. So I don't know if the game wants me to kill her when I have stasis active. And so if I do it beforehand, if it'll glitch. Or maybe they fix that to where it won't happen, but decided not to go back and fix it for the old content. Yeah, just look at it.
Surprising strength for such a little creature.
Now the enemy rush again. Hey buddy, I didn't see you there. The Ace of Spades Firefly revealed you. How about that? It's almost like it's more useful than people give it credit for. I'm gonna jump up here and hope the stupid Shanks don't get in the way. There we go.
Skill will earn you a quick death.
This is also kind of dirty, because you think you would have to go over there or something, but nope, you actually have to turn around, come up here. Oh, that looked actually kind of sick. Did you see that? All the spears were sticking straight up. Kind of like something you see in a warrior graveyard. I have to be very careful when I do that so I don't blow myself up. There you are. Oh, and of course, see, I still took damage. So now what if I was just one hit away from death? Common sense will probably say recover first, but still. What if you back into it? Or what if you just think, hey, this is going to be trapping me in what's essentially a mini cutscene. Maybe it'll give me some super armor.
Barracks. Phylax is down.
Her soldiers will scatter, but there are other powerful elixni that will stand in your path.
Destroying the general doesn't destroy the army. But this is a start, at least. Let's get that splinter back to camp.
I really hope the quality's not looking as bad on the actual stream as it is on my phone. Because earlier, it did the same thing, and then when I brought it up, it fixed itself. Now I'm looking at it, and I've done it, and it still looks bad on the stream. So hopefully, it won't look that bad on actual YouTube on playback. Because there's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, her fight the very first time was, wouldn't say hard, more like tedious, because you have to constantly worry about rushers. Obviously, if you bring a rocket launcher, or even better, a sword, then the issue is pretty much mitigated. But I can see how that could be a problem, especially if you're below light level.
Understand, Guardian. This power we wield is not a gift from a benevolent overseer. It is a tool, stolen from an enemy. One that is all too tempting to abuse.
PvP, you don't say.
Well. Before the stranger came to offer her guidance, I despaired of my entanglement with the darkness. I shudder to think how easily I could have slipped down the path to destruction. How anyone could. A balanced mind is the best defense, Guardian. Do not let fear or anger tip the scales.
Drifter does not want to talk right now. Oh, yes he does. Don't know why he didn't want to talk to me here.
Once word gets out about stasis, the Vanguard will be bleeding schmucks. Can't show a light bearer a new toy and then tell him not to play with it.
You underestimate Zavala and Ikora. When they can see what we've seen, they will do what's right.
Maybe, Moondust. Maybe.
So I didn't actually notice this the first time when I played it. Isn't the Drifter's eyes supposed to be brown? Or is it because he's always hanging out in that dark alley, you can't really see them very well? Because right there, I swear his eyes were blue, and they should be brown.
Aramis's presence on Europa is not happenstance. Temptation set the wheels in motion, but obsession propelled her here. To destroy the light with an army of darkness, she and her followers make those selfish choices moment to moment. The darkness places a spotlight on our desires, as it once did me and those I cared about. For a time, I had forgotten. Humanity relies on our selfless acts to bring about a better world. Darkness is no more than a tool with which we do so. With splinters of darkness still in hand, Aramis remains an immediate danger to humanity. Look within. Focus your power. Let it grow. The ziggurat awaits.
There you go, if you wanted to read that.
Guardian, this feels wrong. You wielding darkness. But I'm not going anywhere. If you need me, I'm here.
Remember that.
This power, this stasis, I'm worried it's taking more of a toll on you than you realize. I'm able to bring you back from death with the light, but I may not be able to if this power consumes you.
Again, remember that. But interesting about that point, though, is our situation is slightly different than what happened to Dredgen Yor. Like, Dredgen was corrupted, essentially, again, by the darkness, but his was more by through the hive, while ours, while not corruption, is a gift from the darkness. So they are different in that regard. But Ghost basically says that if we become completely consumed by darkness, it might not be possible to revive us, since revival is a trick of the light, not the dark. That's number one. Number two is the reason why I brought up Yor is because his ghost could, and still can, actually bring him back. Dredgen, unless of course they retroactively changed it, but back in the day, it was pretty much said that his ghost could bring him back, but he won't, because he knows how dangerous Dredgen Yor is. He knows bringing him back isn't going to change him. He's still going to try to wantonly kill everybody. Hey, this is kind of a good example. See, I'm catching up with this person, and somewhat losing control of my own sparrow. Wait a minute. Make sure I'm going the right way. I keep getting distracted when I talk. Yep. Okay, good.
I'm picking up another transmission from Aramis.
Bonk.
To my Elixni sisters and brothers out amongst the stars and here at home on Europa, we have suffered a great loss today. Our beloved warrior Phylax was murdered by pawns of the once great machine. As always, they eagerly seek to eradicate us. Remember, light only burns bright so long, but darkness is forever.
Kind of the messed up thing about that is she's kind of right in a realistic kind of sense. Yeah, you just drop that on control point and it's pretty much over, unless they have a Titan bubble. I don't think a Well of Radiance can actually negate all of that. Also, neat little thing in this room. Let me take care of this first. Gotta say, I'm supposed to grab these anyway. Here we go. Check this out. That look familiar to anyone? It should. It really should. Then of course you got dead exos strewn about the place. Alright, back to it. We're not playing that game again. Get your lick while you still can. You know, now that I got a good look at it, maybe that might explain why I died. That one had yellow health, meaning it's more powerful. And I do definitely remember being killed by cursed thralls before, so maybe they were just the yellow health variant. But I still say the exploder shanks are more dangerous. Again, fly. They can literally fly just straight up here if they so desired. And blow you up. Oh, and they don't always beat. I want to throw that out there. They do, but not always. While the cursed thrall, I always know when they're around. The only time they might sneak up on me is either if I'm using a melee weapon and my character decides I'm going to auto-target towards this cursed thrall and not the knight you were actually aiming for. Situations like that, yeah, you die. But the exploder shanks still feel more dangerous to me.
I'm here to fight for the light, and so are you. If this is how we're going to do it, I'll be by your side. But we are toying with power neither of us understand, and I have no control over it. If anything happens to you, I may not be able to help, but I'll do what I can.
I have seen what power has done to Aramis, but perhaps you are different. Perhaps there is hope. Praxis. He is the visionary mind behind Aramis's technology. He wrings power from the darkness itself. But Verix was not privy to his secrets, his experiments. You must discover how he creates these dark weapons and stop him.
The long shadow. Okay, and with that, I'm going to take a short break. Don't worry, I promise I'm not going to disappear into the void. Unless the end comes sooner than I thought it would.
Do not underestimate
I'll be back
a
soon.
scribe.
Thank you all for tuning in. See you around.